All right, we're live. No one needs to know why why it took a second for stream to start. We'll just keep that between us here.
Because Cam's a pervert.
That's not why. Anyway, episode 3. I'm so excited for the story today. It's going to be very interesting. But before that, where we last left off, it's not going to be a big recap because honestly, mostly what you guys did was just kind of share each other's secrets.
And now Alicia doesn't know any of our secrets. And we don't know hers.
Fuck.
True.
That's true. Canonically, you weren't in the room. We spent the entire session getting a beanbag chair.
Yeah, you were looking for beanbag chairs for everyone.
Didn't we say you were pooping in game? Is that what we
I
came
hope
up with?
so. I bet Cam timed it.
I think.
Guys, you're
Cam
spreading the
said that.
secrets.
Yeah, that's for the Patreon when we finally get that up and running.
We gotta give a little teaser now.
Is your character's name really Thaddeus, Alicia?
Yep.
I feel like we did a whole session and I guess I never said your name once. I don't know. It seems so strange. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
you
while
did.
Thaddeus was out fetching beanbag chairs from the mansion, we're really regretting not organizing so well last time. Everyone was sharing their secrets, and now most of the party, the important ones anyway, know about magic and summoning, and that Dr. Hawthorne is cursed, probably.
And Key.
And Key, we did learn about some Key.
And
That
gods and other races.
yes. I'm still trying to remember names. Zerkanon is an elf. Or sorry, a Sylvain.
Oh, what?
And as well, super important, last time you guys spent a month of in-game time setting up a public farm / garden for the impending starvation of the city, probably. I'm sure 10
And-
acres will be more than enough.
Would you believe, Alicia, if I said it wasn't my idea?
I don't believe you.
Well, then you're the fool.
It was mine.
It's a start. We start with 10 acres and then we expand out.
Nice.
So, well, Juniper, Zerkanon, and Dr. Hawthorne's assistant got that set up. Everyone else kind of went about their own business, and Alphonse went and spoke to Dr. Hawthorne's rival, Ethan Aurelius, the head of the anthropology department, to see about these strange writings that he found in his family's attic. He was given some information that Dr. Aurelius had seen some of this text, or it's very similar to some texts he saw in Sharina, one of the other walled cities, well, mountain city in this case, which unfortunately is rather inaccessible due to the Wild March. But another student whose father was a tenured archaeology professor had found some interesting things in ruins not far off in the Lucille mountain range. And so with a little bit of a lead, Alphonse went and found Cadmus Rheastrad currently beating the shit out of a punching bag in a local boxing gym. The young man, not particularly tall, just around average height and a little bit on the heavier set side, with a very vicious look in his eye, saw the text after Alphonse showed him and said he has something similar. And also during this time, Daisha has gone out to look for any kind of mysterious objects, texts, whatever Dr. Hawthorne might like, and did not really find much. And Dr. Hawthorne probably found something really amazing, but we won't find out this week since he's not here.
He just wanted to give you more time to develop it.
I don't need more time. It's already developed.
Well, now you have it.
I had it before he called out. So, we start off with Alphonse following Cadmus to a pretty nice loft apartment, not too far off from the academy. As you go in, it's a nice wide open space with some large windows that kind of look out over the city in some places, though even amongst apartment buildings, the city's built pretty high, and even a loft is sometimes just obscure, it has its view obscured by the surrounding buildings. Regardless, it's a pretty nice view. The loft is not particularly well furnished. You see a large round table with some chairs around it and a lot of paperwork on it. And as well, you see, like, on a elevated platform, a bed, and then there is a small room in the back, which you assume is for like a bathroom, and a pretty decent kitchen, like not like brand new, but it was pretty new, like probably a few years ago. Cadmus hangs up his scarf on a nearby coat rack, and he motions for you to follow him over to the round table.
All right, I'm back. I'm just kidding. Alphonse will head over to the round table.
Okay. Heading over to the round table, you see large sheets of paper that are probably approximately about like 2 feet by 2 feet across. And on them are some charcoal etchings of what appear to be imprints from probably some kind of wall. In the negative space that these etchings create, you see some interesting text that are very simultaneously block-like and curved. They give you a sensation of like runes. Cadmus pulls out some sheets of paper and then hands one over to you. These are some of the last sheets that we found before, well, everything happened.
At the initial part of it, Alphonse's eyes had lit up and he was like super excited, but definitely dulls a little bit at the mention of what had happened. But takes a look.
I was etching off some of these words on a nearby wall. In a large chamber that seemed to have some kind of strange stone edifices. And, well, it seemed strange. You detect some hesitation in his voice, but you don't have much time to think about it as you look over the page and your vision begins to blur in a very a yellowish orange light, similar to sunlight on a stone wall, begins to edge over your vision. I need you to make for me a psychic resistance check, please.
I see. 110.
Okay, not bad. This hazy vision overlaps with your arms and on the wall, and you see something moving. It seems like your arms, but they're moving independent of your will. They're also longer and more slender. They appear to be working on some kind of sketch pad or writing notebook while looking at a wall that is being hit by a large beam of sunlight. You can see the text as just as if it was written over the walls, though it's hard to see everything clearly as it's overlapping with your actual vision and reality. Something flows into you. You don't know exactly what it is, but the vision seems to veer, which is very disorientating. You feel your stomach churn and spin as the vision seems to show the face of a strange being. Human-like, but with a eye vertical on their forehead. And ruby red hair. You feel like you know this person, but you don't know why. The only thing that you really gain from this vision, besides what you see here, is the thoughts that these runes, this writing specifically, holds some power. But before you can think much more on it, and your vision begins to dim as it feels like a sudden loss of blood causes you to lose much of your strength. The vision fades as you nearly collapse. When you come to, and you see you're being studied by Cadmus, though, you notice his eyes, and again, it looks like he wants to murder you. It's a very disconcerting sight after what you just went through. Are you okay?
Sorry, I guess the excitement just kind of came over me. Kind of like shakes his head a bit, rubs his eyes.
Cadmus takes a chair and slides it over, it sliding across the ground with a loud squeak. He offers it to you, and he looks worried, at least in his own way. Is there anything I can get for you? Water?
No, this will be fine. He sits down, observing the rune more.
The text is not the same as the one that you were asking Dr. Hawthorne. But it feels familiar to you.
Does it look like any of the other ones I may have observed from my family's home?
It does.
I didn't think. I'd be able to find a lead in this city. Have you been able to transcribe any of it, or translate any of it? I guess would be the better way to say that.
No. Unfortunately, there's no real evidence. I've been looking myself, but as you probably well know, it's not like there's an ancient text section of the library we can just go to for any kind of translations.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the same, I guess, library as some of the other cities.
Well, I don't think most libraries would have what we're looking for here. It's strange. I've done some research. Most I could, anyway. His eyes become somewhat sorrowful again. The text is not like any language that humans have wrote, anyway. At least of all known cultures that you can find in the library, it's not even close to being similar.
That's true. Do you think this might be one that we haven't discovered before?
Maybe. What's strange is the ruins that we went to weren't too far from the city. So, you would assume that whatever humans may have been living in the mountains at the time probably migrated to the nearest city once things became safer. Back during the Emperor's time, or back shortly after the death of Abel, when the apostles were founding the cities. But nowhere, at least in this city, have I found any text similar.
You think there would be at least a little bit of something? But if that is the case, ponders. Could it be some other type of human? Or that just didn't make it to the cities, or something else?
Well, the strange thing is, written languages, especially those carved in stone and such, tend to stick around in civilizations, even though the universal standard for Latin became a thing about 1,000 years ago. Many of the divergent languages from before the Empire's time were somewhat similar. This somewhat reminds me of the Goldarian languages, those used by the barbarians before they were wiped out.
Would I know anything about that?
Yeah. It's pretty well known, but of the many cultures did not get to survive, the centuries, the beasts were too much, and any of those not living in walled cities inevitably found their demise. And as far as the Empire is said, because they have on many occasions sent out excursions of teams to explore and look around, that of the Goldarian region, which is somewhat to the northwest of where Deluxe currently is, there's evidence of some cities, some walled cities that just were devastated, left in half ruin, and their inhabitants gone or missing, or likely those that managed to survive went to the nearest city, Aegis, which lies just to the south of the region. The Empire has on multiple occasions sent out exploration teams to look into these cities, find anything that might be useful. And archaeology, while being probably one of the most dangerous careers out there, there's been no shortage of individuals who are gutsy enough and brave enough to head out with a team of Heavenly Order members to go and look into these sites. You estimate, due to how intelligent you are, that one of these gutsy archaeologists was probably Cadmus's father.
Hmm. Huh. This is a hell of a find, but I don't think it's the exact same as the one that I showed you.
No. It's similar, though. There's elements in the writing, emotions, and points, and you can see some almost influences in these runes. But they are starkly different.
But he does open his bag and digs through, and he finds the one that it is very similar to.
You do.
And kind of pulls it out, and though this one seems to be more of an exact match, and you'll hand him the packet.
He looks it over, and you see his eyes grow wide. Furious, though you know better. Where did you find this?
He ponders for a moment. Kind of taking a look at him and kind of what he's seen. Does he seem like somebody who would probably be more trustworthy with like a secret?
You have no way of knowing.
I think he's going to take a chance.
Okay.
Mostly because he's eager to learn, and bad decisions haven't necessarily stopped him before in that regard. So it seems in the past my family may have been researching this, or at least I kind of found it in our old home, and there's quite a few different languages, but that one's definitely the most similar that I had found.
He cocks an eyebrow at you and looks at you. You get a sense it's a very incredulous look, but again, the way his eyes, there's just something about the way his eyes appear. Makes everything he does seem just a little bit more hostile. He nods. No, there's definitely something here. The text and format is too similar. I've been studying languages myself. You kind of have to as an archaeologist, and you learn that there's types of word formatting that is pretty universal amongst all languages. In Latin, you'll have words like is or are or ands. That have a particular spacing, and they're usually in reference to a prior word or in reference to a subject of the matter. And writing this book here, he hefts it a little bit, is definitely written like a language. At least to my eye, at the very least, this looks authentic. Though...
And maybe... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. It does make me think. This, he motions to the papers of the etchings. Now that I think about it, this isn't written much like a language, or at least not standardly. He kind of lays some of the papers out, and you can see the symbols of the writing and such are written almost in pure lines. It's almost as if someone just wrote continuous text with no spaces or parting or anything like that.
Huh.
Here. I've marked, he motions at the top left corner of the pages, and they're numbered. I've marked on each page where they sat generally on the wall. He goes over and he gets some tape, and he goes to a nearby wall, and he begins taping them up on the wall, and you can see a pretty large spread of nearly about 32 pieces of these 2x2 sheets of paper spanning a good length of this wall of the loft. The writing, and as you see the writing, it does look strange. It's very contiguous. But you have a particular obsession with language, and you notice something. There is a particular rune or glyph that seems to act like maybe a separator, maybe a conjoiner of these texts. It appears regularly, and when you notice the pattern, you notice that there's some other types of glyphs that serve similar purposes.
Kind of like a space, or like a continuation?
If it would be a space, though, it would be much more reasonable to just not carve in a space. Saves time and effort, so that doesn't make sense. It's almost like something. Make for me a science check.
Ooh. Uh, 100 on the dot.
That's really good. These glyphs, they're strange. It's almost as if they change or connect how the structures of these would work. They make you they almost feel similar to... Goodness, I wish I was smarter. Oh, goodness. In electronics, it's the piece
Binary?
no, they're the piece that changes the flow electricity
Oh.
and can alternate it. Oh, I'm so close. I almost know what they are. Sorry?
Repeater. Redstone repeater. We were talking about Minecraft.
Repeaters, yes, but it's a different type of thing.
I know what you're talking about, and I also only vaguely know stuff about it.
Funny enough, the only reason why I even think about this is because of when we were playing the submarine game. For a short time, I got really into the electronics of it to make an automated door.
Inverters and converters?
There it is.
I had to look it up. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair. I figured you did because that was way too clean.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam went, yeah, back when we were playing the submarine game, and Devin just knew exactly from that.
Not true.
He was obsessed with it.
We should play that game again.
We should.
I like the game.
Also,
A lot has
should
come out
Alicia know
since
this
then
answer?
too. That'd be game.
What were you saying, Slug?
Shouldn't Alicia know this answer?
True.
I thought he was talking
electrician.
about. At first I thought he was talking about like the device like oscilloscope where you can read like AC versus DC.
I mean,
But-
similar vein. So what I was talking about changes stuff from AC to DC. So
Yeah. And to be fair, there's a lot more, and I'm just not that good at electronics, to be fair. But you can tell that these runes specifically seem to... They make you think of this, like almost like a circuit board.
Huh.
When you think of this, I need you to make another psychic resistance check for me, please.
Oh god. 122.
Ah, that's even better. That's the next step up.
Dang, it would be so funny if you just went insane right now.
As you're looking over this and you're pondering it again, your vision blurs, and that same golden light almost shines on the wall in front of you, and the text bleeds into etchings in rock and stone. You are watching now the figure in front of you placing a hand on a gem, a spherical gem on a stone dais, and as they do so, the movement of their hand on the stone as it almost rolls in position causes the different runes to light up. But it's strange. It's not just one continuous, like, going from left to right. They all begin lighting up. As they change the stone, the runes begin to shift and move, and the light just kind of traces over different parts. It begins to move quicker and becomes almost flickering as the runes begin to light and dim in rapid succession in various patterns. And whatever is happening, the machine or whatever this device is seems to power up as the flashing becomes more and more. You get a strong sense that the rhythms of the flashing and the overall appearance mean something. Something almost greater than language. Your forehead begins to burn, and you can see another overlap of imagery over this image already being projected over reality in front of you.
Oh god.
Wisp, yeah. Well, you got higher psychic resistance, so you can see a little bit more now. You see a flow of light beginning to almost project off of the wall. It shifts and changes in colors in various jewel tones of rubies and sapphires and emeralds. This is making a connection. This is something that the device is bringing forward to a specific location nearby. There's something powerful being drawn, not through the device, but through something. And then it becomes too much, and you pass out. The sheer amount of information coursing through your mind still ruminates and still fuzzily waves through your unconscious thoughts. By the time you awaken, you feel like you were dreaming, but you don't know of what. Cadmus, again, staring daggers at you, is leaning over you, and looks otherwise concerned.
He kind of shoots up for a second. You're right.
As you shoot up, Cadmus punches you in the face. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you moved so fast. I wasn't thinking."
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. But you were right. You were right.
He goes over and eases you up a bit.
Oh. Like, oh, that hurts. But he stands up with his hand on his face. He's pointing out like certain spots.
Again, when your sudden movement causes Cadmus to go into almost a defensive position, but he soon relaxes.
Okay, he's doing it eventually, maybe. And he begins like wandering around the room. Here, and here. These are all similar to what you were talking about, but it functions a little differently. Each one is supposed to like change how the language flows. And I think the etchings that you got from this room, he turns around and looks at him, his hand completely over one of his eyes. He's still kind of like nursing it a bit.
He gives you a concerned but eager look.
I think you might have been in a mechanism of some sort. Not a place of language, but of something spectacular. I am not entirely sure what it is, but...
You see him, the eagerness from his eyes quickly fades, and he almost has a knowing look. Strange. He shakes it off quickly, though, and he's like, "Yeah, there was a strange stone edifice, dais."
Was there a gem on it?
No.
Anything to insert?
It looked like something would. There was also, he kind of moves to the side and he vaguely motions in a direction, which just kind of looks like it's in the kitchen, but I think it's in you think it's in reference to the pages on the wall.
He overcorrects because to follow his gaze because one of his eyes is covered.
Yeah. There was a strange dip in the floor, and there's kind of this large polygonal shape, probably a octagon or maybe something with more faces. similar glyphs were written around its edges. And there was... He kind of looks at his, like... He looks at the wall, but you can see in his face that he's looking at something in his memories. There was another thing. This crystal device was pointing to the center of this platform.
Mhm.
You see him rub his forehead a little bit as he turns to look at you. What do
He
you
has a
think
look
this
of-
means?
I think what you found is it does involve language, but it might be closer to science. And like, I guess by extension, it's maybe utilizing math? He ponders.
Hmm. You can see easily across his face that he seems to be thinking of something specifically. You're starting to
What's
get a
on your
sense that there's something he hasn't told you about all this.
I think he kind of looks at him with definitely a look of curiosity. He's almost completely forgotten about the eye at this point. It's like, what's... It seems like something's on your mind.
He looks up at you, but only for a second before he looks away. It's nothing, just thinking, postulating about what this means. He seems dismissive.
Hmm. He's like a little earnest, but he also thinks about it. We did just meet today. There's not necessarily the trust there. Hmm.
Looking back over the writing at a glance, you feel like you understand some of it. Not what the words mean or anything, but it's almost in the back of your head. Looking over the writing, you get a sense of like the rhythm of the language. Almost as if you could hear someone talking in the back of your mind, though their words are completely muffled.
Hmm.
You think that there's something to the rhythm of the words and how they're spoken. And the machine automates and amplifies this effect.
I can't quite read it, but I think there's a rhythm to it all. Kind of ponders. I don't know. Some sort of rhythm to the language that maybe feeds into the machine, he kind of gestures at the room where all the runes have been placed. And then, is it magnified? But why would you need to magnify language to that degree?
He's looking at you. Now curiosity seems to won over whatever he was thinking before. He's like, somewhat sounds like a computer. Like the ones they use in the large governmental buildings.
Maybe the transfer of information?
Maybe.
If that is the case, then this could be a very, I mean, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery in a way. Kind of like wanders around and looks at the runes a little closer.
Looking him over, you get a sense that you could almost hum, or it's very like, you know, the Peanuts, how the adults talk. Like, you wouldn't say words, but you feel like you could at least mimic the rhythms of the words.
I think he finds himself doing it not necessarily unintentionally, but like just kind of doing the rhythm in like a humming tone.
As you begin to do so, and Cadmus is not standing too far from you, something happens. Your vision doesn't overlap like it does before, but you feel something stirring, like a deep memory. Make a psychic resistance check for me, please.
Oh god.
Fumble.
53.
Okay. That was almost a fumble.
Not great, though. I think that only hits the 40 difficulty.
There's something about humming it in that way that stirred something deep inside you. Not only that, but it seems to affect Cadmus too, as you both kind of stagger in place for a moment. But as quickly as it came, it passes.
He is like breathing harder. What was that?
Cadmus, also slightly out of breath, looks up at the wall. I don't know.
Do you think it would still do it with just the ruins being here? Even without the kind of like gestures to spots that he would hypothesize gems would be, without any of the other stuff?
A thought occurs to you. The very first time you had this kind of overlapping vision. These runes hold power. I don't know about that, Cadmus says. It felt different. I felt my head swim for a moment and I lost my balance.
Hmm. Do you think these words might have actual power?
I don't know. Never heard of such a thing.
But maybe without the gems, it's not focused.
He shrugs. Your guess is as good as mine.
He trails back over to the table and sits.
The table, now devoid of most of its sheets, still has a variety of blank sheets of paper and blank sketching paper.
Kind of taking my visions into account versus what's already on the walls, is there, kind of comparing the two, is there any of the ruins missing? Like maybe it would have been damaged from time?
It's hard to say. The papers, or the runes on the paper at least, look pretty complete. Maybe some, smudginess from the fact that they are made from charcoal sheets. Though these sheets have been treated, and so they won't smear too easy. But at the time of creating, rubbings are not a very precise science and can cause some problems. But no, this looks completely intact.
Are you up for an experiment?
He
Turns
gives you
down.
almost a frightened look. He's like, I guess, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, the humming seemed to have done something. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe the two of us together could make it focus better?
I guess. I don't know. I don't get where you're getting this rhythm from. I just see runes, text.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't think of that. How do I convey something like that? He ponders for a second. I guess kind of when I look at this one, it gives sort of, and could I roll a music to try and convey the rhythm?
Yeah, actually, sure. I like that. Go ahead.
But this gives, and he kind of gives kind of the notes that he feels in the mumblings, I suppose. 122.
Okay. So you begin to transcribe in the best of your way mumblings of this text in a rhythm, and you do so, and you feel really confident in this. Those strange runes, you don't know exactly what they mean, but you do think that not only are these runes, what's interesting about these runes, these extra runes that seem to adjust, shift in pitch and tone, is they seem to be almost linked to the pacing of what a word is spoken. So you would speak one of these words, or in this case, mumble, and when you hit that rune, based on the tempo, you would either continue or shift to another part of the text. It's actually, it's like reading a musical spreadsheet, only a whole concerto, all fitted onto a single sheet of paper. It's pretty advanced, but you're getting a sense of it. As you're doing it, though, you do find that despite a climbing efficiency and ability to like hum these in the right way, you aren't getting that same sensation again. Eventually, you get to a point where you and Cadmus do it together. And then I need you to make a psychic resistance check.
Is there a bonus now that I know what I'm getting myself into, or?
Nope. This is based purely on the strength of your mind.
All right. 93. It is better.
It is better. As you both begin to simultaneously do this, Cadmus is not quite as on tune or pitch as you are, creating a slight noise. You feel like you're talking to an old friend, someone you've spent a lot of time to. There's a strong familiarity that builds between you and Cadmus. But you don't feel like it's Cadmus that you're familiar with. You feel like it was that strange being that you saw before. The one with the ruby hair.
Ooh.
Before you know it, you are just looking at Cadmus. The face of the individual bleeding away back to Cadmus is a little round and face with his light brownish hair. And he's looking at you and he seems similarly confused.
You saw that too, right?
His eyes look you over deeply. He nods slowly. I think so.
He ponders, backs up a little bit and sits. I think he's gonna close his eyes more meaningful in this moment and see if, like, I don't know, does Cadmus's spirit seem different?
You close your
than,
eyes
like a
and
normal person's?
focus, and normally you barely can detect a person at all. Like a faint shadow in the darkness. This is very different. You close your eyes and overlaid, you see something vicious and wild before you. You feel like you're staring into the face of a demon. A slightly pinkish red flame lies before you with a face that's gaunt and skeleton-like and reddish horns all etched in flame. This ghostly flame. I need to make for me a composure check, please.
Very fair. $71.
You jump with a startle as whatever this is, it is terrifying.
definitely a look of nervousness about him.
I will say, what you see does not make you feel in any way reminiscent of the figure you saw in your visions.
Interesting. He opens his eyes again.
You see Cadmus staring daggers at you, but looking concerned in his way. You're starting to be able to read his intense face. You okay? You jumped.
Yeah, I've I had a hypothesis, and I've always had this, well, mostly had this weird ability where I could like vaguely pick out somebody's essence, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Their aura.
Yeah, something like that.
You see recognition in his eyes.
You're only the second person I've found who has an aura as intense as being actually able to visualize something.
He looks concerned. What did you see? What did it look like?
Kind of like a pinkish reddish flame. He'll like grab a pen and like try to draw to the best of his ability.
Okay, make an art.
$43. Could certainly be better.
Yeah, it vaguely gets the shape across, but it definitely did not come out as well as you would have liked. He just
Definitely not as pictured as I thought it would, but kind of a similar gist.
he furrows his brow with a look of concern. This is what my aura looks like.
Yeah, it was a little startling, but I don't know. Again, you're like probably only the second person I've ever seen with like something that even registers, I suppose. You seem to have, or like, well, it looked like you recognized what I was saying. Are you able to do something similar? He tilts his head.
He looks away for a moment. He seems to be gathering his thoughts. He gathers his courage and he speaks. Something like that happened only once when I was at that place. I saw something. Something similar to what you mentioned. It was... You can hear lightly in his voice. His voice quivers. Excuse me. Some ghostly flame inside of a crystal pillar almost. He looks up at you and he gives you a very dangerous but soulful look.
The look is met with interest, I would say, is probably the highest thing on his face right now.
He seems to wrestle with his thoughts a little bit, and he says, "What do you think this means?" He audibly swallows.
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a love of the academic that causes it, because the only other person I've seen, he's more religious than anything. Thanks. He begins pacing around the room. I am having, mostly at this moment, looking over all the runes and stuff, I keep seeing somebody else gesturing in front of me, as if it's my hands but not mine, you know? And at the same time, when I look at you, I don't, in some of our discoveries with this, it hasn't been just your soul that I viewed, but somebody with a crimson hair. Somebody who feels familiar, but isn't? He tilts his head.
What? Memories from a past life?
Kind of, yeah. I guess that's what that would be. Have you been getting a similar vibe at all?
Just that last time. We were humming that tune you showed me. It wasn't a vision, just a sense. It was talking with someone. It sounded like a conversation.
Yeah, but mumbled, but kind of you knew where the conversation was going, but not necessarily what it was.
He nods.
He smiles a bit. I wonder if that's the transfer of information or if that's something else.
You see his face change as he starts to get almost uncomfortable. He goes over and he pulls out a camera from nearby and he snaps some shots of the wall. It's one of those self-developing cameras, so after each shot he pulls out a small rectangular sheet and waves it around a bit, and the image begins to bleed onto the sheet. I think this is the lot, and I think I just need time to think about this. Here, he hands you several photos.
Oh. Of course. I mean, I've passed out and nearly passed out multiple times.
Yeah, you probably should go rest, and this is a lot. The memories of that day are still painful.
Understandable. as he's like kind of gathering. He'll actually leave the copy with him of his papers. If I make any discoveries, would it be alright if I come and tell you about them?
Yes, of course, please. And I'll be sure to do the same. He holds out his hand to you.
He takes the hand and shakes.
He smiles. It's been
Alphonse,
pleasant
this
getting
is
to know you, Alphonse.
And to you as well, Cadmus. This is wild. like the full weight of it kind of hits him as like the study time is kind of like dimming down and like the weight is really settling in. Okay.
He goes and opens the door for you.
Alright. Be safe out there.
Yeah, well,
Or-
you too. I mean, this is my house, so I don't think I'll be going anywhere.
Right. Slaps his forehead. Winces at his eye a little bit, but shakes it off. Alright. I'll talk to you another time.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Oh, right. He'll kind of like take out a piece of paper and write down his like home number. In case you need to reach me.
Oh, yeah, good idea. He takes a pen and writes his number on the back of one of the photos.
Alright. Have a good evening. Like doesn't necessarily bolt, but there's definitely like a definite pep to his step. A lot of things have come to fruition with this meeting.
Chemist shuts the door, and as he turns into his room, he subconsciously rubs his forehead as he looks at the sheets on the wall. He just has a very long and distant look. But all right, you head home. Well, unfortunately, Dr. Hawthorne is not here for his event, so hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. But a month goes by, and the project at Hawthorne's estate has been going really good. Everything is now just getting set in order, and many of the planter beds are set in the ground, and many of the plants are already kind of being set to grow. Juniper and Zircanon, you spend a lot of this month working together.
You.
We're best friends.
I don't feel comfortable calling someone my best friend when they're almost 1,500 years younger than me.
That's true. You are like a predator. This is a problematic age gap.
I'm the one trying to keep a respectable distance. You keep getting close.
We are best friends. But you are the adult. You should know better.
We're not best friends, I say more loudly for the room. I'm planted. Yeah, you can't get it all up in the dirt with your missing leg or whatever.
Anyway. So, what do y'all do?
I have something if no one else does.
Since you were
Don't
the one
you-
who spoke up, go ahead.
Don't we need to get through Alicia's month?
I mean, what
Alicia
does
has an
Alicia
extra
do?
month.
For the majority of this month, Dr. Hawthorne has been doing the same kind of thing that you guys did before going to the pawn shop. He's been going to a variety of shops and asking about, heretical texts, much of which to no real avail. And then he does spend a good portion of this month as well just kind of poring over that tome that he purchased before.
And he definitely didn't have a very impactful interaction with someone at the end of that month.
I mean, if there's really anything for Thaddeus to do.
Not that I can think of, but realistically, he would have been with Hawthorne when he was looking around for those heretical texts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, to be fair, you're on the job. You're doing your thing. All right, now Zerkanon, what are you doing?
Okay. I guess my time recently has been more routine in sort of, I definitely still wake up early to like walk the streets a little, but like around breakfast time for most people, I try to head over to the makeshift farm we've got going to do stuff. And we got like, I assume at this point we've gotten a few volunteers and stuff. I'm sort of like, I'm spending a lot of time sort of teaching them like on the job. And one of these days in particular, as I'm wandering my streets in the mornings on the way to and fro, I tend to stop at my classic alley and sometimes elsewhere if I notice more rats around. And I take care of my rat friends who I've been feeding for like a couple months now, I think, is what we're at. And one of the rats is different because it's technically not a rat. I find like a nature spirit among the rats that I will end up taking in. And they're now my totem, which means I'm cool, and so are they. Kinda, not super yet, but they're getting there. Also, I wanted to clarify a rule, Cam. You said attack and defense can't be more than like 50 apart. Is that final can't be more than 50 apart?
Yes. Or no, base.
Okay, good. Because I was looking, I was like, man, my finals do not come out to be even like that.
Yeah, no, it's just invested how much in development points, so.
All right, because my dodge is, or her dodge is way higher than anything else.
I mean, yeah, her agility is really high, so.
Her agility gives a lot of bonus, and her other stuff gives a lot of minus. But anyway, this is a nature spirit rat. It's slightly larger than an average rat, but still rat size. And thanks to my new cleaning and care for it, it is snazzy, it's clean, it's sleek. And I've been taking it with me to the farm to just sort of hang around, I guess, as it's sort of sticking with me now.
Okay.
And it lives around my apartment because, again, no pets allowed, but also it is a street rat. Its environment to live in is the streets.
So because you don't have... Sorry, go ahead.
When you're at the farm, does the rat just like chill on your shoulder, or do you just does it roam about doing whatever it's
Or
want?
roaming around.
Okay.
Sometimes it chills with me, I'm sure.
So since you don't have full control over Angelica the rat, Angelica the rat.
Yeah. The rat is a pseudonym.
Mhm.
It's a nickname.
Tell me about Angelica's personality.
Yeah, so Angelica is very popular with all the other rats in town. Angelica is sort of a like leader, like a minor leader figure in the rat community, until I guess she starts hanging out with me and intelligence goes a little higher, and suddenly she makes certain rats uncomfortable. But she is sort of like, she's very like affectionate to, and not super like shy around people. But due to her sort of on the streets living environment, has to be at least wary. But if she decides that you're not a threat, she's very willing to hang around whoever and be friendly with you, especially if you have food, because she is one gluttonous little guy.
Okay.
I think she probably also likes shiny stuff, but not nearly as much as tasty stuff.
Do you inform Daisha, your roommate, about your new totem rat?
I don't bring it back with me, so I think I do talk about her, but I don't think I've ever said that she's a rat, and so I'm just sort of talking about her like she's a person I've met and know.
Okay.
Just come back home and go, yeah, Angelica was really helpful today. She was hanging around really sweetly when I was like picking our potatoes, like watering the carrots. It was really nice that she wasn't bothering the other helpers. She was being friendly when they came up to talk with her.
She scared a
At some
little
point in the
girl.
conversation. Nope, God.
She scared a little girl at the farm today, so Juniper had to keep her in her lap for a bit, feeding her treats.
That's too
They should like use the conversation as she's picking him up from work and just like, did you adopt a child?
No, well, I mean, maybe, kind of. It's not like a legal process, but I mean, in a way, I don't know if he would consider me family, but I'm doing my best to look out for her now that I've taken some sort of responsibility for her life.
I will say, you've had a totem before. You must have if you were progressed. Yeah. So you would know clearly what type of relationship you have.
Yeah. It's not necessarily family. I guess it's extended greater family. It's a sort of found family situation.
So let me get this straight. You non-legally adopted a child that is now found family, but doesn't live with us?
No, she's much more comfortable out on the streets.
Did you kidnap a child?
No. I would never take her away without her permission, or if she wanted to stay with the others around her, I would leave her.
The others?
Yeah, that's why she's staying out there.
This. Does she have family outside of you?
Cam, nature spirits are sort of like birthed by nature, right? I would assume. Or are they like a type of creature that...
Well, I mean, you're free to interpret how the totem works. By general core, it's not actually a creature, it's just a embodiment of nature in animal form, because essence likes to take the form of plants or animals, and it's here because your powers have drawn it to you, and it's there specifically to be like a guide.
Okay, so it's sort of created through my powers then.
Kind of, yes. It exists because of your connection to your goddess.
Okay, I was sort of viewing it before as like there are nature spirits and my power sort of drew one to me.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's generally how it works, but like
this one was directly birthed by my
kind
abilities.
of. It's you can think of it more of the ambient natural energy has coalesced into this creature.
All right, I got it then. What did you ask, if it had a family?
Other than you, yes.
Well, it could be. I suppose I would consider it's the daughter of Tithoria, my lady.
They should just slow blinks for a second. Is she like you? Angela, not your lady.
In what way?
She just motions to you, since we're out in public.
No, I wouldn't say she's too similar to me. She's sort of a different type of being entirely.
Okay, did she go home already, or can I meet this Angela so I know what I'm walking into?
I mean, I could introduce you.
I mean, that would be preferable given the context you've given me. Kind of need to know what I'm waiting for someone to knock on my door for.
All right, and when we I'll take you around the alleys near our apartment and just sort of lure out a pack of rats where Angelica's just sort of hanging out. I'll feed them, as I tend to do twice a day. Right. And I point to the slightly bigger one that's very clearly cleaner than the rest, and I said, "This one here is Angelica."
Oh, thank God. Okay, that one's a bit more manageable. Okay. So you let them stay outside?
Yes, they are used to it out here more than in an apartment.
Okay.
And if they're ever in any real danger, I can know right away.
Alrighty. Also, just so you know, technically pets are not allowed, but the pet deposits is for cats and dogs.
So animals other than cats and dogs are allowed?
I mean, if they can be easily hidden, I don't see they think they would have a problem with it.
I like put my hand on my chin, just deep in thought, very dangerous thoughts.
Within reason. The house should not be a zoo.
Of course, of course.
Actually, do you know what a zoo is?
I'm just sort of looking off to the side. I was going to pick it up through context clues.
If we can find some free time, maybe a trip to the zoo would be beneficial for you.
All right,
Does Daleks have a zoo?
Yes.
Well, I'm ready for new experiences, as always.
Okay. No, I guess that whenever we get some free time. Yeah, maybe you can just take a day off from whatever this is.
All right. Though I have to inform everyone at the gardens when we plan to go, so that they're not waiting for me to take care of things there.
Okay. Yeah, you go. Take it. Oh, I forgot. Here's your house key.
Oh, you've remembered. You finally did it.
The key machine at work was finally not broken.
Well, I'll make sure to make good use of it.
Just don't overload the house with animals, please.
All right, I'll do my best.
And then we proceed to, Daisha at least proceeds to head home for the day.
Yeah, I'll head back with you.
All right. Well, what's anyone else doing?
I think after they get home, Daisha waits until
Zircanon.
the next day.
Oh, okay.
Zircanon waits until the next day. I have a baby on hand. And she is going to, on her way to work, see if she can use her deft hands to find some loose change as she heads to work without being noticed.
Okay, sure.
She doesn't pick anyone that looks really troubled, if she can help it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, make a thievery.
Do you mind doing that for me? I do have a sleight of hand, if that helps.
Let me see.
Everyone knows sleight of hand is too creative for this.
It just might be one of the weird distinctions between skills that Anima has. No, it is theft that you would need specifically.
Then never mind, I do not do that. No, she does want to keep her ear out for any odd jobs higher income people are willing to pay for.
Okay.
Something she can do part-time.
Well, it is starting to get harder and harder to find any work, as many of the factory workers now 3 months in are starting to, despite governmental stipends, need more for their living situations, especially with the rising prices. And so getting some odd jobs might not be super difficult, but it's going to be nothing super gainly.
Okay, then. She looks over, like, a board for, like, advertising extra work and just takes a deep sigh. Just nothing that would benefit. Well, I guess there's nothing else to do, and she heads to the telegraph office.
Okay. You approach the telegraph office, which there are many in the various districts in the city. They have the appearance of like a post office. They're, a short little brick building. You go inside and you see like this long carpeted walkway, and there's these individual little stalls with people sitting at these desks. Going up to one of them, they ask you for your telegram, and as you deliver the message, they have a keyboard in front of them as they're typing your message out as you say it. Can I hear you?
All right, she sends a telegraph to her parents back in Faro, wishing them safety during these dark times, and to let her know that she is safe. She can't tell them where, but that she is safe. And to tell her son that she loves and misses him. And she ends it there.
Okay. This telegram will cost you 2 copper.
She pays for it.
The teller at the desk is like, would you like this message delivered, or would you like to make it a phone call?
I think delivered.
Okay. Your message has been sent.
Thank you. And she departs from the building, just finally letting some tears shed that she hadn't been the entire time she was in there. Just proceeds to go about her day, just trying to maintain her emotions and keep a level head.
Okay. Anyone else have something to do?
Juniper's honestly probably just gonna spend the week relaxing. That last month, man,
Okay.
draining.
Okay. It's good to take some time to yourself.
Though I guess in that month, were there any weird happenings in the town? Can I search around for rumors, I guess?
Beyond what the news is calling the Doomsayers Parade, not anything too strange. Though, you think about, or just as you're thinking about this, at the end of that week that you're relaxing, there is news of an explosion in the city. Comes out over the radio, and now this would be a great time for a radio voice. I would need to get my Stream Deck back out. I haven't thought about using it for a long time. But over the radio, you all hear Commonwealth building destroyed by acts of terrorism. The police, or the Heavenly Order on the scene, are making reports that it is due to the Ash. Oh goodness, I gave him a name. What was it? It's Ash something. I should have wrote it down. The Ashfoot gang, over discontent of the city's overall lack of response to the shutdowns of the foundries, many families going hungry and the like. We don't know who the culprits are at this time, but the Heavenly Order is on the job, and hopefully these miscreants will be taken down quite soon. For Daisha, who goes out on the town, and I guess Juniper as well, and Alphonse, because I guess you're all kind of odd job workers. You probably will pass by the building in question, as there's a large kind of like 10-story building that is currently being worked on, as it looks like a whole floor of the building just exploded out.
Which floor does it look like?
Somewhere mid up the building.
Ooh.
You said this was the Commonwealth building?
Yes. The Commonwealth building is kind of like a... it's kind of like a town hall. It's where people... sometimes meetings are held here. Some of the... goodness. It's not admins, but the Empire's... I've lost the word. They're the Empire's like there are people who work in the back and do a lot of the paperwork and stuff like that. The clerics, or clerks rather, and the Empire's clerks, which is another faceless title of the Empire as well, come and manage a district's, funding, or they'll manage a district's current, engineering needs, like do roads need to be put together, do buildings need to be updated, all this kind of stuff. It's a general, large administration building for each of the districts. And the Commonwealth in the Rosewood district, which is kind of one of the major districts, is the one that suffered. And the Ash Streets is kind of like an exterior. It's way further out on the exterior of the city, one nearest to the mountains where the factories were. But this is kind of just one of the most well-known Commonwealth buildings.
As she's walking by, Dacia would look at it and go, "Who would do something like that?" Is the entire building closed off for the investigation, or?
Yeah, not just for the investigation. The building is probably not very structurally sound. Which, in the walled cities, many of them out there, you would assume, is a very bad thing. If a building suddenly collapses without proper demolition procedures being taken place, it can take out nearby buildings as well. Especially this far in towards the center of the city. Many of these buildings are more than 10 feet or 10 stories tall.
What are some of the surrounding buildings?
The Commonwealth building is kind of found on the historic district of Rosewood, which it's a place that's predominantly some of the oldest buildings in the city, as it's one of the most inner layers of the city. And Rosewood specifically is very well known for its old boutiques and other kind of vintage shops, though there's also the discordant effects of various fast food places that have built into some of these old buildings and fairs. It's very hard in these cities to do full construction or to tear buildings down. So you get a lot of these odd effects of Jackie's burger joints, which are just built into a Colosseum-esque type building, with ancient columns and the like. Or you get some new age shops like Forever 20s built into what looks like were old boutique shops. But there are a variety of vintage locations here as well that very much has the historic downtown kind of vibe.
I know the building's closed off, but does it seem busy with investigations, or does it seem pretty empty?
At this time, it seems pretty empty. You see a variety of hazard tape over the front doors to this building. And you can see probably I guess it's not completely empty. There's probably people laying out tarps and such in the damaged area of the building. Those clear sheets. Mostly probably to keep debris or anything from falling down into the street below.
Should we keep on walking after that? Definitely something for her to keep in mind, though.
Okay. So another week goes by. Go ahead and everyone spend your weekly amounts of silver.
Which I definitely remember.
It's 10 silver for people standardly,
Yeah, so 2 for me.
2 for you, and Thaddeus, you don't worry about it because Dr. Benjamin is paying your wages. So I will deduct his. Oh, goodness. I think he's at 60 now. Due to... Well, I guess he doesn't have that extra staffing anymore, so I'll just bring it down to the 50.
Man, it's so cheap to live in this city. Why y'all need jobs so bad?
She just looks over at you, glaring.
If you ever need help covering some expenses, don't hesitate to ask. I'm willing to help you with any tough times you're having.
At this point in time, you guys are hitting like mid-fall season. In some of the variety of parks in Deluxe, the trees are starting to lose their leaves, and cold winds frequent the streets as the weather is starting to get murkier by the day. Deluxe does sit a little bit north of the equator, so your daily schedule doesn't really change too much. It still gets dark relatively the same time every day. So, anyone have anything they would like to do, or do we want to just move time forward some more?
GM, do you mind deducting from my sheet?
I did, or I don't. Yeah, I did for you. So no worries.
Thank you. As the weeks gone by, activity around the building looking like the Commonwealth building.
It doesn't take too long for it to kind of die down significantly. It probably is going to take some time to, work out the plans or what they want to do the building. So, over the course of the week, the building is mostly just kind of left in its current state of disrepair. From what you guys hear, the various agents of the Empire who are working in the building have moved into a nearby district, the Augur Road district.
Could I try looking into this gang that supposedly caused this?
Sure. The Ashfeet gang are a relatively, they're not new, but they've gained a new level of notoriety since their numbers have swelled significantly since the beginning of the Wild March a little over 4 months ago. Many individuals who are left without work and who, for some reason or another, were not given any stipend from the government were left with little choice. Many of them are trades workers who only really have skills for working in large factories, and as well, many of them were working a job that paid pretty decently. There's a good amount of hazard pay for factory workers, and with the rising prices mixed in with the fact that the government stipend is not quite covering the costs of living that many of these people had grown generally accustomed to, has resulted in some going and falling into less reputable lines of work, namely joining gangs. And the Ashwick gang is just one of the most common, as they're people who live on the ash streets, which were for at least the last 50-60 years some of the lowest living places. Many people who couldn't make that much money lived in the ash streets, as they were kind of not cordoned off necessarily, but it was a section of the city known for its factory workers back when the factories were still within the city walls, and then afterwards as well. So it's just a mix of low income, lack of opportunity, and financial destitution that has led to the Ashwick gang becoming more prevalent and are causing more problems, and now in the recent months have taken on a somewhat like anarchist appeal, lashing out at the empire for failing its citizens, even though by most people's assumptions it's just a bunch of people who are looking for a reason to lash out and to loot on the odd occasion, or to fall to crime and do drugs and all that kind of stuff. Though, something does strike you odd as you think about it. For as far as you would know, it's not like they're like the mafia. They're just a gang of people who just act out violently. Acts of terrorism like that feel out of place for them. They're more likely to throw bricks and break windows in a government building, but less to blow up a whole floor of a building. Can't hear you.
And you said the floor that was blown up was more often used for meetings?
You don't know. It was probably more just like an office space. Meetings were typically held on the first few floors.
Okay. Are there any local gangs that are known for this level of violence?
Well, gangs, no. Though if you start thinking about more organized crime, there are some, though most people consider it mostly rumors or hearsay. But there are some more high-profile gangs that are more on the kin of like the mafia. Who might be involved in this, though people rarely see any of their direct actions, and most people think that the acts of the lesser gangs kind of work through these larger crime organizations. Can't hear you.
She ponders this as she just walks up to the garden to see Zerkanon and Juniper. Very much lost in thought, not like her usual, very alert presence she tries to maintain.
Whoa, Daisha, watch out! You're gonna trample our crops.
Oops, sorry. I thought y'all built up the border so people wouldn't fall on the plants.
Well, we try. The paths can only be followed so far.
My apologies, though. A bit lost in thought.
Come, I gestured to the plants around me and said, when I'm lost in thought, taking care of others seems to help me get through whatever I'm puzzling over.
Maybe I'll give it a shot, but I am no green thumb. I think you told me to keep my hands off the cactus I had.
Well, learning with supervision. We can start.
Okay.
I go into great detail about how, with how much I was talking about getting through your thoughts, I very much am just full focusing on teaching you how to actually take care of this plant now.
She attempts to follow along, but she's still very distracted. It's like she digs the hole too deep, or she puts too much soil on it.
I'm just constantly like pointing stuff out, and then like halfway through, I just like, for more minor things, I just like reach over and do it instead, just like digging out a little more dirt or piling it on, tipping your hand a little more to get more water out.
Don't you think it's odd about the Commonwealth building?
Well, to be honest, I am not super up to date on what has happened there. I heard that there was some explosion or something, but I don't really know how the details work out.
I honestly feel it was mighty chipped what they did.
So, the group they mentioned doesn't seem to fit. True, the ash, but true they will sometimes vandalize buildings, but doesn't seem quite in character for them to blow out an entire floor. Let alone a floor midway up.
Well, there are extremists everywhere. When hard times are coming, people tend to resort to more extreme measures, and it's not necessarily that every individual reflects the stance of the group.
Still, what kind of message are they sending by just blowing out one floor?
Would you prefer they take down the entire building?
I prefer they not do it at all, but the mid floor seems off. If it were the Ashwoods, I would have understood if it was one of the lower floors. It's just easier to reach for outside attacks to the building. The fact that all the windows were blown out on that one floor seems like something else might have gone off. Like I said, the Ashwoods are more likely to throw bricks and damage windows and vandalize buildings, but not do that.
Might have been a targeted attack because they had information that we don't know about or something. I don't know. I mean, the Heavenly Order was taking care of it. I'm sure we'll hear about it soon enough.
Did you have any particular theories?
I mean, the only thing that would fit is organized crime. More organized than the current gangs, like a mafia group.
Do you want to have a better idea of what's currently inside there?
What? What are you two doing?
I mean, I'm curious. I don't know if the list in the building is all that caution tape.
Well, we don't have to go in. I can send Angelica in for a look around. I hold up my little rat.
Not a bad idea.
She gives happy little squeaks.
I got a little bit of cheese in my pocket that I feed to her.
Oh, cheese!
Give
Do I hear her talk?
No.
That's telepathic.
Okay.
I give a little scratch under the chin.
Oh, Zarkanon, you really do too well by me.
I like look over at Dacia with like a, well, do you want to do that?
I mean, it doesn't seem like a bad idea. And there's plenty of little boutique and cafe shops nearby where we wouldn't seem odd waiting for her to come back.
Well, all right then. If you, I turn Angelica around to me and go, Angelica, would you mind helping out Dacia with looking into this building?
I would do anything for you, Zarkanon.
Oh, you're sweet, Angelica. I pull out another cheese, even though I know I shouldn't feed too much too quickly.
Oh, I'm a spirit. I don't have the same rules.
All right, I like stand up and just wipe my hands off on my little gardening apron and say, "All right, should we go now?"
Wait, what? We're actually doing this?
You can stay here if you wish.
You're my ride home today. My parents are busy.
I don't have a car.
Yeah, why is he right now? He doesn't drive.
Dacia?
Dacia is.
Does Dacia have a car?
No, I take the bus.
Yeah,
How'd you guys get here? I think you guys drove here.
No, Dacia's been saying she's
I
been
took the bus.
walking and...
I usually
That's
walk.
crazy.
Mass transportation's easier where I'm from than actually driving the car. But if you don't mind a piggyback ride, maybe we could carry you that way if you would like. Give you a break.
No.
Okay.
I don't know why we gotta get involved in this. You two have fun.
We're not getting involved in anything. I'm just helping
It's
Dacia
just-
get rid of some doubts.
And I'll say, for Thaddeus, Dr. Hawthorne has recently come into some interesting information and has decided that he's going to hole himself up for a while and look into some books and do some intense research. And so he wants you to make sure that everything Juniper is doing is good and make sure that, you know, none of the people who are helping on the project sneak into his property or anything like that. So he wants you to work with Juniper for the time being.
Okay. You can kind of see him in the background just staring at all of them doing their gardening, because honestly, he doesn't know what the hell to do with that.
And so
But,
Thaddeus will be your ride home, Juniper. That's the plan.
Yay.
As by some weird twist of fate, you've essentially been assigned a bodyguard by Dr. Hawthorne, who probably is just looking to keep Thaddeus out of whatever he's currently doing.
Fantastic.
How am I gonna
sneak
explain
onto
this?
the property? Just kidding.
I'm gonna
Kill.
explain this to my mom.
Well, I doubt he goes
Completely.
home with you.
Completely different guys driving me home. Crazy.
I heard your mom's cookies are really good.
Is that a euphemism?
Oh, no.
Here, the milk isn't bad either.
You know we're all trying it.
Sorry. Anyway.
You're good, don't worry.
You're not sorry and you fucking know it.
Hey, we can be sorry and still run to do it again.
Okay. So, now that that's been generally established, I guess if no one stops y'all, then Dacians or Cannon head off to the Commonwealth building. So, as you guys arrive, it's a heavily overcast day and everything is cast in a shade of gray. It is a pretty commonly busy street, all things considered. It's no like major market street like the Gold Square, but it is a pretty common place for people to go see the shops, see the historic downtown, all that kind of stuff. Many people just walk by the ruined building without giving it a second glance.
Alright, I go like bend over at the side and just take Angelica out of my pocket and put her down real quick. And I point over to the building that looks much worse and say, be careful, but try looking around in the destroyed part of that building.
All right. Yes, Mrs. Cannon. Angelica
And I
goes
will-
running off.
I look over at Daisha and say, oh, should we just wait here for her?
There's a cafe over there, so we don't stand out.
Alright. And I'll go over
She specifically picks a cafe that's the opposite as she can from where the investigators are set up.
Well, most of the investigation is probably not taking place at the site.
Not at the site, but you mentioned on a road nearby. She's trying to pick the opposite side of the building from that.
No, sorry. When I said agents, I meant like the clerks and the people working.
Oh, okay.
And they're in a whole
Okay.
nother district, so they're like quite a ways away.
Okay, and we just pick the nearest cozy one. Hey, look, this one's herbal tea.
Ah. I've never had purple tea.
Oh, they have one where if you pour lemonade on it, it turns from blue to purple.
Well, I guess I'll have to try that. And I'm currently looking through Angelica's eyes.
Okay. You're familiar with the
I'll order for
process
him.
before, but Angelica can only give you one eye while she's currently moving about.
Mm-hmm.
So half of your vision, you see a dark building as a rat is bounding and climbing up steps. In the other half, you see a very cozy, nice little outside cafe.
Once Daisha sits down with, I'm just like, so is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Maybe something that doesn't seem like it quite fits or doesn't match up.
All right, I am no building expert, but I will try my best to describe what we're seeing to you.
By the time you guys get your food or your drinks and are sitting down is about the time that Angelica gets up to the floor. And she gets up there and she's like, I'm sorry to say, Sir Cannon, but I do not know what I'm looking for. I just see a lot of burnt stuff in it. And she nibbles on a piece. Yep, definitely burnt.
Please don't eat that, but
I'm just
I
tasting.
also don't know what we're looking for. Can you try to find perhaps where it seems like the explosion might have taken place exactly? Where's the center of the burning?
I'm sorry. I don't know what that is.
Can I see if the burning looks like it's sort of like leading, like it's centralized somewhere, or if it's just sort of a general burn all around?
Go ahead and make a search check for me, please.
Okay. Can I make it with Angelica's search?
Unfortunately not, because she doesn't know what she's looking for. You're essentially using her eyes like a TV screen.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Looking around, you see, the explosion. At the very least, what you see is that the floor is just completely scorched. The carpet is probably like one of those, office carpets, very short, kind of types, and it's completely black. Barely any of the carpet is remaining. The explosion, from what you can roughly tell, did happen at least ground level, or at least the outward explosion did, because the walls, you can see at least more towards the ceilings, have more like scorch, or more like smoke marks rather than pure scorching like the rest of the building. Mm-hmm. You can also see a variety of the ceiling tiles are mostly there. The good number have been blown out, and the floor is just completely rubble with a variety of desks and old computers strewn about.
All right. I'm seeing a lot of burnt carpet and walls and some burnt rubble. It looks like the explosion happened at least around the ground floor. I really don't know what else to be looking for here, Daisha, but I'm not seeing anything that particularly stands out to me, at least.
Is that star on the ground floor any particular spot on the ground floor, or just a general spot?
It looks pretty thoroughly burnt to me.
Oh, this place smells terrible.
I want to help you find what you're looking for, but I do hope we can hurry a little, because I don't want to keep Angelica in there for too long.
You said you're looking through her eyes?
Yes, one of them.
What about her other senses? Can you hear anything, or?
I believe I can.
Any strong smells or odors?
That's true. Since I'm like taking her senses when I use them, can I just take her smell so she doesn't have to deal with that?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'll take one of yours at least.
At the thoughts, your nose is filled with a pungent scent of burnt, like carpet and material and plastics, like a very strong burnt plastic smell.
Mm.
It's not pleasant, but there's a hint of something stronger. You're vaguely familiar with it. It's almost like cleaning supplies.
It smells like burning plastic, a lot of plastic being burnt, and that, like the chemicals that we use when we're at the apartment cleaning around.
There's also another smell. You're not familiar with it though, but it's faint but pungent at the same time.
One moment, and I will telepathically go back to Angelica and say, I'm sorry, can I give you your smell back and ask you to find the source of the strange smell?
I suppose, but what strange smell? It all smells strange to me.
Yes, there's burnt wood and plastic and chemicals, and then there's something else. Maybe if you are unsure, you can find them one by one. Maybe the plastic and general burning seems to be coming from all around, so don't have to worry too much about that. And I just I hand over the smell again. I guess I'll keep a single nostril to try and make sure that we're getting closer to the smell I'm most interested in.
Unfortunately, doesn't quite work that way.
No, give me one nostril. All right. I guess I'll hand over the smell back, and then like every once in a while take a whiff for myself.
Okay. I mean, Angelica does not begrudge you taking her sense of smell on occasion.
Yeah, whenever she seems like particularly uncomfortable, I'll take it for like a little while longer.
But she does say, I don't know what plastic is, but I will try to find the fainter sense, I suppose.
Yeah, so if it smells like that everywhere, there's no need to look into it too much, but if it seems like there's smells coming from particular areas, please try to look into those.
Okay. She goes and starts sniffing around. She comes to a spot on the floor, and she says, one of those scents I've found right here smells strange, smells unnatural.
And then I'll take over there, see what that's about.
Your nose is filled with a strong pungence of bitter cleaning supplies, as through her eye you can see on a section of carpet there is a part that is a pretty big spot, though granted big for a rat, that is less filled with soot. The carpet is still severely burnt, but it's almost as if something was here and then cleaning supplies were done over the destruction.
Well, I've found a particular spot that seems to have been cleaned to remove traces of something, maybe. I can't really tell what it was, but it seems like something was removed and cleaned up.
Is that the peculiar scent you were noticing?
No, I think there's still something that I can't quite put my finger on when it comes to smells. We could keep looking. I'd go back to Angelica and say, is there any other scent that's sticking out to you?
Oh, tons of scents, but I can find something not this kind of scent.
Yes, please do that as best you can. Hopefully you won't have to be in there too much longer.
As I do this, I'm just keeping an eye out to make sure we don't seem suspicious.
No, not particularly. Though Angelica's like, Zacanan, I need my nose back.
Yes, you can take this. I thought you might need a little break.
I would appreciate the break, but I can't find anything without my nose.
Yes, we should hurry up to just get you out of there entirely. I'll hand it back over.
She begins sniffing around. You can tell that she's definitely following a particular scent. Go ahead and roll for me her search now.
All right, she's much better at that than I am.
Okay. You see her bounding through the place, and she's definitely seems to have caught on to something as she is weaving through burnt desks and debris. She seems to go way into the back of the place. You do see something strange. The very back wall, furthest away from the window, the carpet there is not scorched. There's some passing scorch marks or like smoke or something over it, but it's much less scorched at the very back of the building. But that's not where she goes. Instead, she seems to turn into a small room, or at least you assume it was a room, though the walls have been blown out of it, and you just see the bare framework of a small, like, probably like 2 foot by 2 foot space. Nah, it was probably like 2.5 by 2.5 feet. And there is not much left in this room, but you see something that appears to be like a melted bucket or something. Here's where the smell is, though. There's that burnt plastic smell as well. Whoa. It's disgusting.
All right, I'll take it from here so you don't have to suffer while you're there. And I take your smell back.
Your nose is hit with the strongest smell of burnt plastic you can imagine. But there's also that other scent. Fainter, but stronger than it was before. You don't know what it is. You never smelled anything like it.
Well, Angelica was looking around, I noticed that the back of the building seemed to be much less affected by the explosion, almost protected by something maybe. But there's a small room or alcove or something of the sort over here with a burnt melted bucket maybe, that, and a strange scent that I'm trying my best, but I just can't recognize it. I don't think I've ever encountered it before.
Can you describe it?
Can I describe it?
You find it incredibly difficult to do so.
It's a little strange, and it's very overwhelmingly plasticky around it. It doesn't smell pleasant.
You know it smells unnatural, so it's something definitely processed.
Mm-hmm.
To give my best analogy without giving away what this could possibly be, do you think you could describe the smell of charcoal without saying it smells like charcoal? That's essentially the situation you're currently running into.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's not people on duty around this building, is there?
No, not at the moment. Doesn't seem like it.
Well, there's no one in there. If you're really interested, perhaps we could go in ourselves, and you can try to smell it for yourself.
Actually, I found a better analogy. It's like describing the smell of paint without saying it's the smell of paint.
I mean, we can always try. I don't know how good you are at slipping in unnoticed.
I'm fairly proficient. It's actually one of my stronger suits. You can't really survive out in the wilds without being able to hide yourself well.
Well, the question is, do we go now or do we try later? They should probably call Angelica back so she can get out of there.
Yes, that's. If we're done sniffing around, I'll bring her out, and I'll tell Angelica it's fine to come out, but I'll keep her smell so she doesn't have to deal with it until she's back.
Oh, thank the mother. I was getting sick of being in here. She begins quickly scurrying and bounding out.
Well, I'm willing to help you with whatever you decide to do with this.
Might be safer to go in after things have quieted down for the night.
All right, I tend to stay up later than most of you anyway.
Oh yes, what do you think of your tea now that you have your sense of taste? Refocus.
It's definitely interesting. I don't think it's bad.
Unfortunately for user canon, you can definitely taste unnatural sugars in a way most
Yeah.
people can't.
It's not that it's bad, but I do think I might stick with natural herbal teas.
I mean, this is mostly natural.
Yes, but purple might be a bit exotic for my teas. I'll stick to the classic grays and browns, and sometimes greens.
Yeah, it's your choice. Well, we should probably go do our own thing.
All right.
And thank you for helping me satisfy my curiosity in this.
Of course, I'm more than happy to lend a hand when necessary.
Guess we finish out the rest of our day plans before we head back in the evening.
Okay. Well, in that time, does anyone want to do anything before we continue?
Unfortunately, the thing I want to do, the person's not here.
Yeah.
Must loot their library.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and quickly before we do that, let's take a 10-15 minute break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, so unless anyone else has anything, we're going to cut back to Daisha and Zerkanan breaking into the Commonwealth building at night. So, as you guys arrive, the Rosewood Street, its main street, is pretty quiet. None of the businesses here are running at evening, though the occasional car does drive by. It's generally safe to assume that you guys can sneak in without too much problems, but just to be safe, might as well give me some DCs I might need to roll against or not. Roll for me y'all's stealths. I got you, Daisha.
All right.
I appreciate it.
That's the thing, yeah. Where we just add stuff. Is there a reason for me not to use fatigue right now?
Other than just the desire, or you might want some because I think it's 1 fatigue per hour, usually.
Yeah, and I have like 4 or something.
You should have fatigue go to your con.
No, I got fatigue 7, but I if I get to 4, it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like need anything that badly. I won't use it. I'll save it.
Okay.
I don't need it. When I say I'm good at something, I'm good at it.
So, Daisha, you got 56.
Pathfinder.
And Zerkanan got a 132.
Not gonna lie, I'm missing Follow the Expert from Pathfinder.
Also, can I ask Angelica to just sort of chill around the building and to warn us if anyone's coming?
Yeah, you can. All right, Zerkanan, I'll make sure I let you know when any humans come by.
All right. Don't try to put yourself in danger or anything, and no need to go in here and smell all that anymore.
You think I would go up against a person like that? What do you think I am, a dog?
Oh, of course you wouldn't. That's why I'm secure in requesting this of you.
Okay. So, Angelica keeps watch. And Daisha, you need to make a power check, and lose some LP, but you do have a darkness spell that can just help with general stealth.
Yep, was my next plan.
If you wanted to, you don't have to.
I mean, I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay. You'll need to make a power check, which I'll roll for you. And then let's see here. The spell is Shadow, and it's a level 12 spell. So you need to get a minimum 11 to cast this. It'll give you a plus 50 to your stealth and hide. So I'll subtract from your life points, which is already subtracted from the last time we did the spell. Power check.
Actually, would those health have come back since it's been like over a month since then?
I think it's only been... I guess that was the beginning of our long month of downtime.
Yeah, like I said, it was down since the last time, but like it was only one use, so I don't need to really adjust it because technically this is what it would be now. Okay, success. So through the use of your Xeon, your body gains or becomes several shades darker to the appearance, making you difficult to see against the buildings at night. That increases your stealth from a 56 to a 106.
Okay. As we're going, Zirkid hears her like make some noise, and she's like, ah, shit, hold on a second. She incantates, and all of a sudden, she almost seems to be darker in color, almost like a black cloth has been draped over her in a sense. Makes a lot less noise now as she walks behind him.
Seems very handy.
It is. But it's hard to recover from.
I'd like pat your back a little and say it's all right. We can rest up well when we get back.
Well, you guys get through the tape and you open the front doors, which is surprisingly unlocked. Heading through the building is eerie at nights, like many old buildings tend to be. Your quiet footsteps still echo across the walls as you need to climb several stories to get to the floor that you need. By the time you're hitting about the 4th floor, you can see the floor above you is heavily damaged, even out here in the stairwell, as it seems like someone just took soot and just blew it out through the front, through the stairwell door. As you arrive, Zircanon, to your relief, it doesn't smell nearly as pungent as it did before. Not having a rat-like senses is beneficial.
Now that I'm not a rat.
Though, it does cause you some problems as well, because now those smells that you were following before are, well, you can't even smell most of them.
Mm-hmm. But I remember where they were, right?
Yes, roughly.
Yeah. I have to say, it's much more pleasant to be here as a person.
Think you'll be able to find your way to where that bucket was?
Yes, we can. Yes, on the way there, I'll also stop by the cleaned up area.
Okay. So you guys enter into the destroyed floor. And this is a large, like, if you've ever been in any governmental buildings, you know, it's a large pseudo office, like, there's a front counter that was there that, you know, people would talk to for a variety of things, like getting licenses and all that kind of stuff. But then there's also a variety of cubicles out towards the window of like personal offices or people who are sitting down with governmental workers, all that kind of stuff. And the spot that you saw before is more towards the front, more towards the window. Your feet crunch against the debris of various blown apart desks or ceiling tiles. The very light crunchiness of the carpet beneath your feet. This place still smells very heavily of smoke and fire. And you come to the spot. It's very hard to notice, especially in the dark. I'm assuming Daisha has a flashlight or something.
Yep, she has that flashlight on her. A small one. It's not that powerful. She can't afford the fancy thing.
Yeah. Looking over the spot, it's very hard to see really much of anything. Go ahead and both of you can make search checks. Ah, I see.
Do I have to?
Belle says you have to.
At least Daisha got positive.
Me
Oh,
too.
All right, that was a 2 and an 8.
We're making big
That's
plays.
amazing.
It's really hard to see. Zerkanon, since you've generally seen the area before, you can roughly make out a large, odd-shaped oval in the carpet. Like someone scrubbed just one area specifically. It seems to be, by your best estimate, between 5 and 6 feet one way and about 2 feet the other. And at tallest and widest.
It seems like it's sort of a large oval-ish shape, maybe the size of a person laying down.
The size of a person laying down and curled up.
No, just sort of laying down normally. It's like 5-6 feet. I mean, you can see here as I'm like trying to my best to point it out.
This spot
starts up there, goes to
seems
there.
this spot seems to be near like a small cubicle. Daisha, you can see the remnants of a old computer and desk. Though, if there was a chair here, it was either moved or blown clear away.
So it's not too far of a stretch to think that if someone had perished, this would be, because this was the spot that smelled like cleaning chemicals, right?
Correct.
So if someone had perished, this wouldn't be too far of a stretch to think that this was just where someone's body had been.
Though that's strange. Why clean it?
If a body was here, why wouldn't they just, one, report it? The report said nothing about anyone dying. Given the direction Zerkanon's kind of gesturing it is, does it look like it's across what could have been a walkway, or is it like in a possible cubicle?
It is by a cubicle. From your general estimation, if this was someone, they were probably sitting at this cubicle, and then the explosion blew them back and probably down to the floor.
Can I try to guess where that force would have been from, given the estimations?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, yeah, you can guess. Go ahead, guess.
She notices the direction of the body, and then she stands at the feet where she thinks are the feet, facing one of the blown out windows, and then turns around to try and match the opposite direction of where the body could have been flown from the direction of.
Okay. Seems reasonable.
Then she walks in that direction to see if anything stands out.
Well, I mean, it just the rest of the office.
Okay.
Though, thinking about this does bring something to your attention. The explosion blew out the windows. So either one, the explosion occurred somewhere in close enough proximity to blow out the windows, or two, was big enough and powerful enough to blow out the windows. Now, in the center of this office, you don't see any clear indications of a massive explosion taking place. In fact, it just seems like almost like the entire office just blew up.
Acer Cannon, you said there was a section that wasn't burned?
Yes, it was toward the back of the building.
And for reference for everyone, this office is pretty big. I would say that this office is probably roughly like a 50 by 50 foot space. So probably bigger than most houses. Alicia does, because Alicia does measurements.
Oh yeah.
So you guys go to the back of the building?
Yep, to look at the room that doesn't look as damaged.
Okay. You head further in. It gets darker and darker as the city lights and moonlight find it harder and harder to reach through the building's open face. As you get towards the back, you do see that towards the very back, ash and some scorch marks seem to be like blasted against this back wall. But that's about it. It doesn't look burnt or scorched, and you can see at least like a couple feet of unburnt carpet.
Which wouldn't match a huge explosion because it would have hit everywhere.
Well, depends.
Oh, so there's something on top of this before.
Doesn't seem like it. It is dusted with ash and smoke stains. In fact, no, maybe. I don't know. Something feels odd about this.
I can't sense anything magical, can I?
Nope.
Well, are we close to the room with the bucket?
Yes, very close. Looking in, you see the remnants of a closet. The walls of this closet were blown completely out. You can see the frame and some steel girder, or not girders, but some steel rebar that was used to secure a lot of the supports for this small structure. And inside, the bucket that Zerkanon sees, you see as the remnants of a container that looks like it would go into a shampooing machine. And in fact, looking around a little bit more, you can see the sparse remnants of a like hand shampooer, or not hand, but like a big push shampooer that was blown to bits in this closet. Not a device that Zerkanon is particularly familiar with.
Is there a way to tell with the way the remnants are scattered what direction they were blown in? Other than the walls obviously being blown out.
Well, I think you've found the direction then. The walls were blown out from this spot.
But somehow didn't hit the back wall.
Well, looking at the doorway, if you were to stand in the closet and the walls of it still existed, you would not be able to easily see that back wall. But an explosion just from this one locale would not have created the massive effect. Again, this is a massive space.
I don't suppose when they mentioned over the broadcast that it was one big explosion or like a chain explosion.
They just said an explosion.
Is there another section in the office that I can see that looks like it's also had its walls completely blown out?
Not in the same way as this one location. Zerganon, you feel like you're missing something, or you've forgotten something.
I'm just like holding my head. I'm sorry, I'm not able to help more. I'm really not in the best state now.
Wait, you mentioned an unusual smell.
Yes.
Without disturbing the bucket much, Daisha like bends over and like sniffs the remnants of the contents of the bottle.
It's very faint, but you smell something that smells like gasoline.
Hey, Zerkanon, come down here for a second.
All right.
Take a sniff. Is that what you smelled?
Yes, I think that's what it was. I don't really know much about where this would come from, but
Gasoline, most likely.
does that
Gasoline is
mean
often used.
here?
I don't know how they'd fit a car all the way up here. And this seems to be a cleaning closet. It had special cleaners to clean like the carpets specifically. So gasoline technically shouldn't be here. And the only way someone could have done this... Actually, given the direction of the clean spot we had found, how far back and off to the side are we from where that clean spot was?
You're on the same relative side of the room if you were to look in through the open windows in the front. But you are like nearly 50 feet. You're on the other side of the entire building.
It's a wild theory, but what if the culprit didn't make it? And they got caught in the explosion.
Well,
Yeah,
you can
because
estimate that the clean spot was after the explosion.
Oh, that's what she means. If they didn't make it, you need to clean up the body to remove evidence.
Fair.
I mean, it doesn't seem too strange if there's a big explosion. Even if you were to throw something in a building like this, it would be hard to, I don't know, light a fuse and run away in time.
Or attempt to.
Zerkanon, you do remember the first time Angelica entered into this space near the front door, which is about halfway between here and the front window. You did catch a whiff of this gasoline, just faintly, though.
There was something else here. I suppose we could look at that, and I'll start leading the way to there. I smelled the gasoline when we were just sort of entering here as with rat senses. Might be difficult to discover with just us.
On the front, there's really not much there, just burnt carpet.
Should I, Dacia, should I call Angelica, see if she can smell it more clearly?
Now, if we do that, we don't have a watch person. We'd be risking it.
I don't think there's going to be many people coming in here. This wasn't like yesterday, right? It didn't blow up yesterday.
It was about a week ago now.
No,
Okay, yeah.
not a week.
I doubt there's going to be many people coming to look around in here.
All right.
I'll connect to Angelica and say, would you mind coming into just a little inside to help us look around for that scent we found earlier?
All right, if I must.
Thank you. You're too good. I'll just sort of have like a little piece of sausage or something ready for when she gets over here.
Okay.
Right. You remember that smell from a small room upstairs?
Yes. She says with disgust.
You can smell that around here, can't you? At least a little.
Yes, unfortunately, it's everywhere in this thing. She paws at the carpet.
Someone soaked the carpet.
Yes. Looks like this carpet was quite doused in it. I'll take Angelica's scent away so she doesn't have to keep smelling it.
Okay. What are you saying, Dacia?
So they doused the carpet. And the gasoline did seem to be in the cleaning closet.
Specifically, it was in
The shampooing closet.
well, in the what part?
Back.
That was the back.
It was in the shampoo solution container for the shampooer.
So whoever did this, whether they were aware of it or not, literally coated the entire carpet in gasoline. Or a good chunk of it, at least.
Well, it seems like it would be hard to do it unintentionally with how heavy this smell is.
True, but if you're not paying attention at work, you're not going to notice.
Do you think that the person whose job it was to do the shampooing of people would be the one who did this? Maybe they were responsible?
They could have been. Unfortunately, we don't have much to go on. Other than this person was about, 6 foot, possibly?
Probably a
If
little
this is
shorter.
the same person. A little bit shorter than 6 foot. That's all we have to go on. We would have to go through an entire roster of employees, but that's not going to be public access.
Dacia, something occurs to you. If the person tried to set this up and then got somehow caught in the explosion, why were they away from the door and towards the window? Why would they be sitting on a cubicle?
Do you think I'm just sort of spitballing here, if that's how you use that term, but it could be that either because the spot we found upstairs was sort of cleaned carpet, as this person would have been doing with gasoline. So it's potential the same person came back to clean up that area of the carpet. Or my other thought is that maybe they put a lot of gasoline down here before going upstairs to do whatever else they were going to do, and it unintentionally caught on fire, or someone else were to do it instead. So they got stuck upstairs while it was burning down here.
And something triggered. I mean, it doesn't take much to set off gasoline. From what I understand, I'm no expert. But I know there's certain rules when people fill up their cars with it. So maybe something on accident triggered the gas while they were upstairs trying to do a task like you said, and just got blown off, maybe knocked out, and just suffocated.
I'm not really sure. I'm not a big investigator, especially
I'm not either.
in places like this.
But if they were looking for something else, if they were doing the other task, what were they doing? It's one thing to stop an explosion, but what was here to find that they wanted? If they were here for information or whatever was on possibly a computer cubicle.
Didn't you say this was a place where the government was doing paperwork, and so like it could just be that they wanted to destroy something that was recorded here?
What would be so important you would need to destroy the record?
I don't know if you caught it. She said, what would be so important you need to destroy a record room or something like that?
I'm honestly, I don't really know what would be kept here in the first place.
The strangest bit of this all to you, Daisha, is if you're understanding things correctly, someone was blown up, someone else, post the fact, came and took the body and cleaned a spot that should have been, by all accounts, probably devoid of a lot of evidence already just by being blown up. It seems strange.
Is there any other spots that Angelica noticed the cleaning smell from? The chemical smell? Not the gasoline, but the one for this, the spot where the possible person was.
Nothing else nearly quite as concentrated as this one spot.
Okay. Well, we probably got all we can find here. But thank you for indulging me.
Of course, I'm happy to assist where I'm able.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming, unless you guys have anything else to do there, you slip out of the building.
Let's burn it down on the way out. Get rid of any evidence.
Burn all the evidence.
Okay. And fun fact, just because you guys discovered most of it, and I think this is interesting at the very least. So whoever did this filled the shampooer, and the solution in the shampooer, not only was it, part gasoline and thus incredibly flammable, but the cleaning solution was also made extra pungent so that it would be difficult to detect the gasoline smell before there was time for the explosion. Something that you guys would not have been able to find unless either of you guys had a really good search.
The entire time, as soon as we walked in, I was like, man, I really wish I had telemetry stuff.
Yeah. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end the session. Sorry to Juniper and Thaddeus for just sitting here for other people's stories.
Listen, I could have joined in on them.
You could
I
have.
actively refused, saying, why are you doing this?
True. So, hopefully the stories today were entertaining at least.
Yeah.
They were.
So, let's go ahead and do some XP. Y'all get 3 XP for being here today. 4, and this is something that everyone will gain. Looking into this whole thing, this might be important later. I'll give you guys 2 XP.
You're welcome, Slug. Slug was just laughing at me and now benefiting from my research.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna laugh at you because you didn't get that 3 XP.
Difficult actions. Yes, actually. Devin, you made some really good psychic resistance checks today.
Hell yeah.
So I'll give everyone 1 for that because that's also going to be interesting story stuff. And
the music roll? I'm not sure.
No, that was really cool though.
Ah, fair.
Yeah. Nothing else really. Good ideas or plans? Yes, checking out the explosion I think was a good idea, so everyone will get 1 for that. No combat. I'll exclude a lot of those player awards for the time being. I'll give a pity award to Juniper and Thaddeus, so you both get 1.
Thank you.
Just because you guys didn't get very much chance to do stuff today.
I love it. I love doing nothing and getting rewarded. Get fucked, Booter.
And we'll go on to player nominations and or kudos, but before that, Devin, you did some important character stuff for your particular story, so go ahead and gain 5 XP.
Whoa.
I choked on my saliva. Yeah.
Devin nearly died from 5 XP.
You just, it's like going up to him and handing him like $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
I would do anything for 5 XP.
So, any player nominations and or kudos?
Good job, Devin, for making a good friend with an NPC.
I do like Cadmus a lot, even if he's very defensive about himself right now.
You had a bunch of good stuff with him and his whole deal.
Yeah, there's some really good moments.
You know what? As well, you did some important stuff, but I did also really love your role playing through that whole bit. So go ahead and take an extra XP.
Yes.
Also, I really liked that part. Yeah, honestly, it came out way better than I thought.
It was very descriptive. I could definitely see everything that was going on, including the part where my vision tripled, and I was like, "Oh, that would be so awful."
Yeah. I'm sure not many people would believe me, but I made up the whole like how the text works with the transistors and stuff thing on the spot, and I'm surprised that came out so well.
I believe it.
I like the visual effect of when the machine, whatever it was in the vision, was being activated was so cool. And I know I'm just patting myself on the back, but it was just like genuinely that was really cool. I impressed myself in that moment.
Also, when you were talking about like he can't understand what the words mean, but he understands the rhythm of the language. Slug and I both just immediately looked at each other and were like, "Well, we know what language that one is."
It's not the language you guys think it is.
I can't believe this.
The language I think it is.
Oh, well, it's not the language Booter thinks it is then.
That
I was just doing it because Stormlight reference.
I have an idea of what it is.
I was just
should.
doing it because Devin went through all the languages and what skills were tied to them, and one of them was music.
Though, I will say, this language has been influenced by a lot of languages.
It's the all language.
Kind of. It's kind of designed that way for specific reasons.
Oh no, it's English.
I'm about to create Tower of Babel 2.0. Let's go. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so that part came out really, really good. I'm really happy with that.
Also, speaking of patting you on the back, Cam, I really like how you're doing Angelica for some reason. I
Yeah,
just really love that one specifically.
Angelica's a lot of fun.
I'm working hard to make the
Me
NPCs fun and relatable.
She is
I
very
do love your
relatable.
line of. I do love the line of "I'm a nature spirit, so I don't have to follow those rules." Inhales cheese.
You know I'm making her follow those rules anyway, as much as I can. I can't control her that much.
You're a responsible owner.
I'm not an owner.
Plus, you don't have to give thanks to me. I'm being told by you guys how you want your NPCs to be run.
And you're following directions well. That's why I'm giving you a pat on the back.
Speaking of NPCs and also on the run, good job, Suzanne, for having emotions. You did that. I went, damn, we're really doing it now.
I do
He's
appreciate
far from home.
Fair. I do appreciate Booter and Suzanne both investigating the story. So I don't have to. Thumbs up.
Yeah. Also, good job to Suzanne for coming in and saying, I see a plot hook. Can we investigate?
Yeah. For Daisha, and oops, I was not keeping track of your XP for the day. One
It should
second.
be 8,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
including what you're about to give her.
Right. So, I'll give you a point because you were the one to jump onto the hook and look into things. It's very proactive, very good. Though I will say that it was not necessary for the story for you guys to do so, but it will provide more context for future events.
What do you mean? They're all connected. It's all part of the story.
Also, I really enjoyed your enthusiasm during the investigation. I thought that was really good. And then I'll give you another point because I really do like the writing home and missing your son part of your story. It's really good. Good characterization.
True.
Any other player nominations and or kudos?
I appreciate Juniper being the very logical one. Is like, wait, what are you doing? No, I'm not doing this.
That
I
actually sounds
appreciate-
illegal.
Yeah, that sounds illegal. We shouldn't do that.
the heavenly orders there, dog. What are you gonna do?
I will give one to Juniper for using one of my idioms, chipped. I see you. I'm paying attention.
Thank you.
I did notice that. Oh, I do have one for Alicia. Already getting on the bandwagon of hitting on Juniper's mom. Let's go.
Yeah.
Didn't even need guidance for it. Immediately was right into it.
The
Asking
first one to
about
hit it.
Juniper's mom's cookies.
Sorry, Slug.
No, you're
Mom's
not.
just
None
too
of you are
hot.
sorry. None of you are sorry.
Stop making hot moms.
Yeah.
She hasn't even rolled her appearance.
We already
I don't
know.
what it is though.
If it helps, I'm not hitting on your mom. She has no interest.
She's
She's
hot.
on.
Damn, Slug. Also,
See,
I
even the
love
dice agree.
how we could just sit here and without context, someone rolls a die, gets an 8, and everyone's like, "Ah!" Like anyone who doesn't know the game is like, "What the fuck does that mean? What's an 8 on a
It's
D10
the mom
mean?"
roll. I'm sorry, but we have just set a precedent that now everyone has to roll any of their parents' attractiveness at the start of the game if they have parents. It is
I think
relevant.
it's just me that has
You're the
to do
only
that.
one that makes hot moms.
I'm the only one that makes parents.
I make parents. They're just long dead.
Technically, my parents are in another city, so y'all not aren't going to see them.
Unless.
Oh.
I'll make
GM,
the
do you mind rolling a few appearance rolls?
Yeah, if it's a good roll, I'll make the trip.
The wilding isn't forever.
It's not. I don't need it. Oh,
Oh!
Yeah.
I had to re-roll the
Crazy
1.
dichotomy. Oh, okay.
No, I re-rolled a 1 into a 10.
So what I'm seeing is one of them aged much more gracefully than the other, and is a little unsatisfied now.
Is one of your parents rich or really funny?
Or really big.
Your parents are a 10 and a 4. Literally the max difference because 4 is the minimum.
I'll say they were an arranged marriage.
That makes sense.
And I'll say the dad's the 10.
Oh.
Invite him over.
To balance out Juniper's hot mom.
Oh.
I guess I need to roll for what my dad is.
Gotta
again.
re-roll.
All right.
All right, so it's gonna be a foursome between me and you guys' parents.
Good luck getting to Pharaoh on your own.
Nah, none of them are grave robbers.
If you roll high enough, I'm willing
They
to make
aren't.
the trip. If I roll high enough, which I did,
Sometimes it's just about the numbers. Before we get too sidetracked, I'll go ahead and give Alicia another pity award. It feels exceptionally rough when your main... Like, Juniper has at least a little bit more wiggle room and stuff to do, but Alicia got screwed over the most by Alex's being gone today, so... Go ahead and get
It's
an
okay.
extra
He
pity
wasn't
award.
feeling well.
It's okay. I'll harass you next session.
Hell yeah.
Any other nominations and or kudos?
As much as it was mostly just on a player's end, I did appreciate the scene where Juniper's like, "You're my ride home." Wait, you don't drive. Disha's my ride home. I walked. Who's my ride?
That was so funny.
It's one of the difficult parts of being a proactive role player, just trying to like yes and a scene, and then it messes with the lore.
Can't believe only 3 of us drive. It's wild.
To be fair, in these megacities, that's not very uncommon.
It's wild that a 19-year-old without a license doesn't have a bus pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's the problem. I also think it's if the buses are accessible.
Juniper's going around on crutches.
Crutches indoors. She has a wheelchair.
You bring your wheelchair around and just leave it outside?
Inside, if it depends on the situation.
It could be like one of those
Leave it
fold-up
outside.
wheelchairs.
That's also true.
You can just not bring it when you need to use the bus.
It's okay.
What's
We
everyone's
found
XP at?
Juniper's ride.
I need to know what everyone's XP is at.
31.
25.
I can't see my XP.
Daisha's at 30.
That can't be true, Devin. How? Did I just get
I
way
got a
more?
big 5-pointer.
Yeah, so you should be way more than me.
Devin also has a XP penalty.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I would have a 31 if I didn't.
We're in it together. I only have 20, everybody. It's really sad.
Yeah, I feel that pain. I've played a character with an XP loss, so I sympathize.
Yeah, especially since now I have 2 dependents in my household that require me to level up.
Two.
She says who?
Angelica the rat, and my goddess.
I didn't realize we had an additional roommate. Hmm?
God is with all of us. Right here, and I poke you right in your sternum around the heart, and then wink.
To be fair, I'm also just not giving y'all a lot of XP at the beginning here. There's not a lot to be done, to be fair. It will get more.
Yeah.
Though XP penalties are always going to be rough. All right, any other kudos and or player awards before we end for the day? Okay. Well, that's going to be it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It's going to be a good campaign. I can already feel it. But with that, we're going to go ahead and say goodnight.
Good night.
night.
Good night,
Nighty night.
everyone.
Good night.